Oh, we're ready. This time we're really ready. We are really ready because we are established, and I am your host, Rob D. And I want you to know that it's going to be a great life. You're going to enjoy life, and the only way you enjoy life is if you have some type of drive, right? Some type of need to succeed and goals, desire, and all this can become a drive to force you to become something. And along the way, you have to learn compassion. Have to learn that not everybody has to be taken down. We are in a society now that no one gives a shit about somebody else, but you do. You have the only way you move up is if you treat everybody the right way. And this episode is going to be about treating people with compassion and understanding that in order to be successful, you don't have to play bowling. You don't have to bowl and knock out all the pins to get a strike. That it's much more than just a game. So hopefully you get something out of this today. But the key word today will be drive. Motivate yourself because not on no one's going to motivate you, but if you hit rock bottom, if you're tired of just messing up or feeling like you're messing up, then this is it. You're gonna reach a point where there's only one way up, and that motivation is called drive. So to drive. So welcome to this established podcast, and the first thing I want to say is thank you for listening. Thank you all for being part of this because it takes a lot of energy, and that is the goal: is to have the energy, keep it positive, and to keep working towards towards your final goal. And whatever that goal is, it takes a lot, and you have to understand what steps you need to do or to make in order to reach that level. Um, I want to say that the first thing I wanted to talk about is why are you motivated? What is it that what is it that you think you're going to get out of being successful, and what is your interpretation of successful, and what is the drive? Um, some people, they want to do stuff, but they don't they don't do what they don't practice to get to the point where they want to reach. The drive comes from fear sometimes. It comes out of anger. It normally does not come out of joy. If you're happy and content, you're not going to be driven. You're not going to be. If you have everything in the world, the drive is going to be minute. You probably have no drive because there's no reason to have drive. So, with that said, what is your drive? What makes you want to do something? What makes you wake up in the morning and want to do something that that changes your life or changes someone else's life? You never know if the drive that you have is for your kids or is for your motivation and your engine. It comes from your kids, and then you want them to grow and be successful. But before they're successful, before anything, you have to find your drive. And sometimes your drive could be found too late in your life, where if you're at if unfortunately if you're like 60 and you haven't developed much, you made a lot of mistakes. Your drive shouldn't be as crazy as somebody that's starting from at 20s and 30s, right? Just common sense. If you have six kids and you still owe child support and you're 58 and now you're divorced and now your drive is to be the best man possible, you could be personally as a human being, you could be a great human being, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in the economic financial sector just because that's how it is. They online, we watch on YouTube. I watch these shows and these episodes, and people who are like invest X amount of money into the stock market, do this. there it's almost impossible to get it right. And to invest, let's say $150 a week into the stock market, what is that going to get you? Sometimes they say you're going to make millions, or whatever, but that's gambling. Unless you give it to the big fish, and the big fish don't want $150. They want $150,000. So if you're gonna invest in the stock market, let's say, and you just putting $100 here and there, sometimes it's gonna take years for it to grow, and you don't have time for it to grow. So your drive has to come where your success might be quick, might have to come quickly. So you have to dig deep and find out what are your strengths. What is it that you can do that that can change your life immediately? Most people don't know. I can't even tell you what the best option is. So so your motivation, your ambition to grow comes in a form of pain, form of sometimes gratitude because someone does something to you and you are inspired by them, and that makes you want to do something better. But along the way of becoming whatever you're going to do in your life and whatever success you have in mind, um, compassion, understanding that whoever you confront, whoever you try to sometimes exploit, because of whatever reasons, you might harm them. You might harm them. One of the worst things you could do, let's say, if you're in the real estate market and of course you're trying to get the best deals as possible. So you're trying to create to fix your wherever you buy, to ever fix the house, whatever you're gonna do inside. Sometimes you need professional help, and most of the time you're not going to be able to afford a real professional, and you're going to have to hire, let's say Mexicans, and you gotta treat them like human beings. Don't treat them like you own them, because they're doing a great job for you, and sometimes they deserve the respect. They know they have the knowledge, and they're going to charge you completely off, less than a contractor would. So sometimes you need professional help and you can't afford it. So you do what you can with whatever you have around you. And sometimes, if you meet the right people, if you treat them right, with compassion, respect, that can help you a long way in your journey towards success. And those ambitions you have don't come alone. Most of the time, you need somebody around you to make you better, and to help you grow. So the ambition to, respect. Once you have your house, let's say, let me just continue with the house. You have your house, and now you have your tenants, and now you want, you do your best to be respectful, to make sure that they understand that you appreciate what they're doing, paying, and you try to reward as much as you can by doing anything. It's minute, small stuff that normally doesn't that most people don't even think about, such as, if something breaks, you try to fix it quickly, or just making sure that they know you acknowledge that, you thank them for every payment. Just an acknowledgement is good enough, because life is very difficult, and most of the time, most people cannot afford to pay on time. So if they pay you on time, you appreciate that, because it could be a point in their lives where it's between having to feed the family or pay the rent on time, and if they choose to pay the rent on time, that's good for you. But remember, if you're on the other side, if you're paying the rent, if you're paying the mortgage, that's not easy. So you have to appreciate the small things, and make sure that people along the way understand that you appreciate what they're doing for you, no matter what. Appreciate it, because that goes far in this world, especially when you know that you can lose everything in a second. And all this hard work and dedication that every time you work hard, you have this drive and you want to climb this ladder. You're gonna every stage, there's stages to everything, and once you reach a certain stage, you're at the bottom of the next stage. So you're in the top of this stage, but once you move up that ladder, you're going to be at the bottom of the next one. And sometimes you have hungry wolves waiting for you to take advantage of you. So if you don't have anybody to guide you, to just educate you on the small stuff, you could fall predator, to a vicious predator. So you have to acknowledge that, and be thankful for whatever you get in life, and the motivations are key. But if you don't have any compassion, you probably won't be as successful. You'll be successful, and you be like a Scrooge. No one's gonna like you, hoping that something fails. And the worst thing is to be around people that don't want you to move up, because it happens. Once you're reaching up this ladder, and once you have goals, and you want to you want to put yourself in a predicament where your opportunities, you're seizing all your opportunities. Some people might not like that. And when you have a drive, and of course, if you focus and you want to do something to be successful, it doesn't matter what's in your way. You just have to do whatever you need to do to to accomplish that goal. And sometimes that goal, could be even just not talking to your mother for like 6 years, right? You forget about your family, you forget about your friends, you forget about everybody. And when you reach that level that you're in, you're alone because you sacrifice so much. You sacrifice your kids, you sacrifice your family. It's like, even if you're watching that Adam Sandler flick, Click, that movie Click, when he fast forwards to just reach the end, because he doesn't care about the middle, he just wants to get to the end. If you're so focused on the end result, you're gonna miss everything in between, and by the time you get to the end, it's gonna be worth it. Sometimes it can be worth it because you don't care, that's your life. But most of the time, you don't want to be at the top alone, because you could be the happiest man with the billions of dollars, millions of dollars. You could, millions, billions, trillions, if you're gonna ever get it. You're gonna have 15 cars, but nobody to ride with. You're gonna be driving alone to destinations that doesn't even matter, because you're gonna go to a place where you don't know anybody. So if you don't have any compassion towards your journey, you're gonna find yourself alone once you get your destination, and that's gonna be horrible. It doesn't make sense. Now, what is it takes to have drive? What is it that makes you motivated, and how is it that you can take advantage of this motivation that you have? First, the first thing you have to do is just wake up every morning and do the same thing every day, and edge it, making it better. Save it. If you're gonna save for a house, you gotta remember that's a bunch of sacrifices. If you want to move up in your job, your drive is just to make it and just to survive everything that happens. You gotta, if you're sick, you're going to work sick. You have to try to do more, try to learn more, try to be a better human being, and that takes a lot of work, a lot of energy. And if you don't have the right people around you, you probably won't have the energy to continue, because you have too many distractions, and distractions are horrible. Sometimes you just have to, figure out what the best way is, because if you're driven and you're driven by fear, most of the time that helps, because everything around you makes you scared that you might end up at the bottom again. So you kind of measure 3 times before you cut, and that's a great thing. If you're doing it because of anger, because you won in a relationship and you broke up, and now you want to lose 60,000 pounds, and you're just trying to lose the pounds just to prove this person that they're an asshole. Once you lose the weight, if you're still empty inside, you're gonna be a piece of shit towards everybody. Just the same way, if you want to be financially independent, you want to have house, you want to have this, you can fall under the stigma of having too much under your belt to succeed. So, it's unfortunate, but I'm gonna say it. Sometimes you can have too much under your plate. You might, let's say, within the first 2 years, you want to buy 6, 10 houses within the next 10 years, and you end up buying 5 houses in the next 2 years, and now you have 5 houses, and you have to deal with contractors, you have to deal with all this excess situate problems that are coming up, and because you didn't take a time to just learn and know how to make the business run, you don't have a management plan. You just went through and just started buying, saving, and buying and saving. In the end, if you don't have a core group of people that will work with you to help you out, you might fail because you have too much on your table. Just like if you try to diversify and you try to diversify too quickly, too fast, too much, it could happen. You can be in a situation. You can own. Let's say, you could start off by building a car dealership, right? You're selling cars on one side, and then the next day you have an opportunity and you buy two houses the next day, and then something comes up, and now you are in landscaping, right? You're gonna start landscaping too, and then you have something pops up, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to be part of this filming, this movie that we're creating, and we just need you to do this and that." If you tab yourself in for too many different things, you might not be strong enough. You might not have the energy to handle all of them at one shot. So just remember that your energy is key, and you have to do everything according to plan, according to what you think you can handle. Because you could put too much on your plate, and then you end up not being able to do anything, and you might not succeed in all. And if, of course, let's say if you make it in one, you're doing great. But if you take your time, it could work out in your favor. Unfortunately, it all depends on the timing, right? Timing is key. Timing is everything in this world. So if you start late, know that you're starting late, late in your life. Um, how you know you start late? You have kids. You had kids at 16, 15. You raised them, and it didn't go as planned because when you raised them, they didn't their jobs they still need help, right? And they're still living with you, and now you're in your 30s, you're 32, 33, and you try to move up, but your kids, you're raising them, you're doing it alone. You want the relationship, you just broke up because whatever happened, it didn't work out, and now you're still single. That's for, let's say, for if you're a female, if you're a mother, if you're a female, period. And there's certain things in life that happen that you weren't able to do, to save, and now you're motivated. You want to do something different, so you work out, you lose weight, you look better, maybe you're healthier. You're not to lose weight, just healthier. And now you want to get into a business. You're working hard and you focused, and every year that goes by, you see that you're getting a bit older, yet you still have the same amount of money in your bank account, and you want to enjoy life. And now you're thinking that, in 10 years from now, I might have to retire. So what am I going to do? And that's when you get scared, right? And that's when you start making scared money, because you're going to try to save up as much as you can, because it's a lot easier to save than to make. I would tell you that. I don't know, if you sacrifice two or three things, it's a lot easier than working three jobs, because sometimes you don't have the energy, you don't have the time. You have too many kids. You're on child support. You have a car you're paying off. And you have to put yourself in debt in order to succeed. That's a fact. You're not going to get that house without you getting a loan from the bank to buy that house. Because if you buy it cash, you could buy it cash, but not everybody's going to get a lump sum of cash unless you were in an accident and then they just give you all this money. But if you were in an accident, then you probably don't have a leg, or you're missing something, or you had a back injury and now you have pain, which for the rest of your life, that's going to be where your money's going to go in, and surgeries and medicine, right? And God forbid, of course, if you have a drive, you're driven, you're motivated, you have ambition, but yet you're sick, you have something that's not going to let you fulfill all these dreams, all these agendas, all these things that you need to do to succeed. You don't have to um, put yourself in everything, but you do need to make time to do individual tasks, right? Because everything you do will be a task and a sacrifice, right? You get out of work and you go straight to another job, and this job you're trying to learn, you're trying to do something to improve your life, not just to pay bills. And another thing that when you in drive, right? Sometimes they say the drive comes from all the, like, let's say you have a car, right? And you kind of find yourself without motive. You don't feel like you have anything else to do, anything else that engages and makes you want to do better, do more. And you buy this car, and you want to keep this car, so you're willing to do whatever it takes to keep this car. You love your car, so you buy this car, and now you're working hard just to pay it off, and that's your motivation, right? To keep this car, even though this car probably is depreciating, and the fact that you're buying and paying for a car that by the time you pay it off, it won't be worth not even a quarter of what you spent already. That's just one of the things. But another thing is just knowing when you're pushing yourself too thin around people around you, right? You're motivated, you're driven, you're the only one that's coming up with a few bucks. Yeah, the money's coming in, and you have family members asking for money. You have people around you wanting to be part of your life because you have some money, and now you could take them out. They can eat, they can freeload off of you. And sometimes you're so thankful, or you just don't see it that way, where you start taking other people's burdens in your life, and that drive that you have, they're driven out of your drive, and they're motivated to use you as a pawn, kind of to leech onto you while you work hard. These people just feel like they're doing you a favor by being around you. And sometimes you feel like you need, like I said in the beginning, you want your journey and you want to be grateful. You want to have compassion, but at the same time you don't want to have a freaking asshole that is living off of you, is trying to, is trying to succeed, and they're not succeeding, they're just living off of you, they're just slowly sucking your life away. And it can happen in many different ways, so don't think that, just be aware that when you're moving up, what are they bringing in for you, what are they doing? I mean, your kids, to a certain point, yes. If you're in a relationship and your spouse and this person is motivating you, uh, just by sheer love and push and energy, then yeah. But if their person doesn't work, they don't do anything, you tell them something new and they're like, they put you down, you gotta let that person go, because the drive is normally done by yourself. The only way you're gonna succeed is if you drive your own self to your north. And sometimes you don't have a choice, you just have to sacrifice people, because they're not going to help you. You sacrifice the people who are not helping you. And this, and it hurts. But at the same time, if you find that somebody wants to help and wants to do something with you, then if they do something for you, have the decency to be thankful, and not over tip, right? Because nowadays I just read that, you go into these automated machines and you scan yourself, and then they charge you, they want you to give them a tip when there's nobody helping you anymore. So you're not going to tip people just because they're there. You're going to tip them because they did something for you, something that you believe they deserve a tip for. Uh, and it comes in many people think that just because they're there just showing up and they're like, hey, good morning, that they deserve to be compensated. They don't have to. No one is to be compensated. Your hard work is your hard work, and your dedication comes out of you. So you're gonna find yourself wanting to tip many people and wanting to be around many people, and then you're gonna have that situation where there's gonna be you're gonna be helping out, and and thinking you're enjoying life with them, when you're just doing it for them, but you're not enjoying life with them. It's just you're doing it for them because you don't know what else to do. But if you find yourself in the predicament where the person you're with, the person you're around, it has no drive, doesn't seize their opportunities, that regrets everything they're doing every day, they're second guessing themselves, then they're not for you. Then that drive is not going to be. You shouldn't put them along your drive. You should have them around you. Your circle has to get smaller and smaller for you to drive faster, and know that once you make mistakes, it's all on you. And like I said, you're moving up that pyramid, that ladder. When you reach that stage and you go to the next stage, you're at the bottom of the next stage, and now you're gonna learn the hard way. And every time you move up and further up, just after a while, you know that every time you make it to a certain stage, you know that the next one, there's people gonna be trying to take advantage of you, and you just gotta be ready and gotta know what to listen to, what to see, and what are the people that are in your best interest, and there's a bunch of people that are not. So out of a group of 10, maybe two are in your best interest, they're in your best. A lot of people want to help you, but they want to help you because you help them. And sometimes you need to find somebody that they want to help you, but they want to help themselves. So their motivation is that both together is 50-50. And you could tell when it's 50-50 because they make sure that you know it's going to be 50-50. That's how it is, because once you reach a certain stage in your life, you understand how difficult it is to get there. So you do whatever it takes to let someone else know that you appreciate what they're doing and you admire what they're doing. Don't think that just because they're successful, your job is to say, you could do this better. Sometimes you tell them, I want to do this with you. This is what I bring to the table. We could do this together, and we're gonna split this even because I could bring this to the table, and there you succeed, right? Both of you. But most of the time, that's a partnership because most of the time you have to do it alone. So anything you do, you have to do it 100%. And anytime you collaborate, that's when you do 50-50. But don't think you're going to collaborate with everybody and be successful at the end because sometimes the end game, it all depends just on you making your own decisions and you making and you failing because you're going to fail a lot, but you don't have a choice because the main drive is to know that you're going to fail and you're not going to stop. You're going to continue. And you're not going to use any excuses because you already made enough mistakes in your life and the drive is I'm going to decrease the amount of mistakes I make. So whenever you think about whenever if you're in the mode in if you feel and that you want to drive you need drive, you need motivation, the inspiration comes from you at the moment that you want to do something. So one thing I want you to leave with this episode is that the drive in you is far stronger than the drive of anyone else because you're the only one that's going to wake up in the morning, is going to push yourself to do the job, whether you like it or not. And you're going to do it with a smile. You're going to enjoy it. And when you make a mistake, instead of being angry, you're going to look and say, you know what, you got me. And then try it again. And this time, try to avoid those small mistakes. And you can give people advice, but until you do it, it's not going to make sense. And there's certain pitfalls that you have to make. You have to make certain mistakes because you're doing stuff on your own terms, and that's the best way to do it. If there's a blueprint for everybody to succeed, then everybody will be successful. It's just that you were born in a different era, a different time, and this is you today, and you were born X amount of years, and this is what brought you up, and your upbringing made you this way, and because of that, you're so unique that your learning experience, your learning curve, and everything you do from now on is going to be unique to you. So don't stop, just continue working hard. Even if you don't know what you're doing at the moment, just continue doing, and take chances because in life, the drive is about being confident and understanding that even if you make a mistake, you're going to bounce back. With that said, I'm drinking this glass of wine. I thank you for joining Establish. Create your fundamentals. Make sure that you understand who you are. And I just took a colors personality test, and I'm going to share with you in the next one of these little shorts that I'm going to make what type of personality you are, and if that's going to help you according to these colored traits personality by Briggs. It's something we took at work, and I think I enjoyed it, even though I became a green, but I believe I'm an orange. Yeah, it's just crazy. So I'm a green blue, but I think I'm a pure orange blue with spots of green. So yeah, stay motivated and you know get established, and if not, pursue that that goal to be established. So take care and enjoy.